Okay. Well, does anybody want to introduce Oshi
I want
ga
to
Budokan?
introduce Oshi ga Budokan Ittekuretara Shinu.
Yeah.
Please, for
All
love
right.
of God. Okay.
You sound excited. Go for it.
Oh, God. This was, okay, I'm not going to lie. This was the show that most captivated me this season. This is the best show for depicting late-stage capitalism and the downfall of society.
Yes, dude.
That is what the show is about. Okay, this is a show about a pop idol group getting their humble beginnings and one innocent young girl chancing upon them in their early days of formation. There was a lot of idol shows. We've already talked about Show by Rock. There's a bunch more. This is the best one. This is the best one.
For sure.
Our main character girl, I forget her name, she becomes so enraptured by pure chance with not even just the idol group, but the one character in particular, Mina, the salmon pink colored one of the group, and becomes a dedicated super fan. And we're talking about, like, I mean, this was the best part. The first thing we see of, like, the crowd of this group, it's all gross, fat, weirdo guys in front of this group. That's exclusively the audience. And then our girl just joins them. So our girl herself is like a fairly attractive, normal-looking girl. We learn later that she works. Okay, she's hot. I mean, she's definitely hot overall. And she works at like a factory, doing bread things, doing quality control. That's all fine. But her life at home is in utter disarray. She spends seemingly the vast majority of her money on merchandise for this specific group, and in particular, Mina, because she is a stan the likes of which you rarely see on the face of the earth, where she will go to every single event. She will purchase. This is why I'm saying it's late stage capitalism, because we're at a point in our lives with this show where we're commodifying things like handshakes, things like several blocks of seconds spent standing in front of someone, just throwing yourself at these people for this parasocial, parasitic relationship that you're getting off of this person that at first it seems like the person actively hates you and doesn't want her there because she's so obsessed. She's so into it. She's always there and is such a creeper. She doesn't want to be anywhere around her as far as we can tell. So to me, watching the show, it was like this is a treatise on everything wrong with like idol society. This is like a modern man's Perfect Blue, where it's like, Jesus, this is a stark, unflinching reality of like, this is the nightmare that your life will become if you allow yourself to be swirled into like the degeneracy that is idol culture. It is utterly disgusting and repugnant. But then the biggest fucking twist of my fucking life happens at the end of the episode when it's revealed that Mina is actually in love with the girl for being such a super fan, totally undoing. It's the opposite of The Graduate, where we find out that everything she was doing was actually good the entire time, and that I've been the fool, and that, no, guys, you do want to be a stalker. You do want to throw your entire life away devoted to a fucking retarded. That's right. Donate $10,000 to your favorite Twitch ethot, guys. Just throw it away. It's not like you could do anything better with that money. Let them have it. Let them use you, you fucking simp. Give them everything you have, you fucking garbage piece of shit. Give it all to them. Who the fuck are you? You are nothing. You will never be anything. That's what this fucking show is about. It's about the destruction of innocent people who are enraptured in a society that takes advantage of them and commodifies human interaction. God, it makes me want to fucking kill myself. Yeah. And that's why it's my favorite show of the season.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Glad you thought so. What do you think?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Jack, do you agree? Do you disagree with my interpretation?
Dude, your interpretation is spot on. I 100% agree with you.
Good.
It's
okay.
All these fat men who are into this idol culture, they identify with this hot, attractive young woman. And they're like, oh, I'm just like her. Haha, I'm not the other fat guys that are in the show. Haha. Let me buy all the shit. It was hilarious. And the character design.
I feel like there's like a 3-layer joke going on against all of us watching the show, and I'm not sure what level I'm at in this joke.
It was.
I gotta say, I mean, I watched this as I consider myself a hardcore otaku.
Sure.
And I've consumed a lot of otaku media, and the otaku media presents the otaku pretty much the same way always, right? Mm-hmm. So this is very in line with the portrayal of otaku from shows made by otaku for otaku. These characters are They will wait in line all day. They will spend their entire fucking paycheck.
I don't understand
they'll buy
it.
And there's
It's the saddest thing on the fucking planet. It makes me want to die.
And it's really funny because this is the only reason that any of these industries survive is it's the cows. It's the same exact. And there was a moment when I was watching this episode where I said, "This is just a mobile phone game, except you at least get to actually meet the girls."
Only you can actually
Potentially
one
touch
day,
them, yeah.
you get to touch them
Right.
if you're real lucky. Maybe if they're like straggling from the group, you can like grab them and like take them to your bunker, and then you can have your way with them as long as you want.
There
Sounds
you
great.
go.
This
Perfect.
honestly though, okay. So on the one hand, idol culture creeps me the fuck out because ever since Perfect Blue, I'm just like, well, that's obviously the way it really is. So like, I can't, you know. To me, the idea of having like that level of obsessive fandom over a real person, is like. I feel like it requires a certain lack of self-awareness, or if you are self-aware about it, it's still creepy, you know?
When they have like the speeches in these shows about how like, no, like you encourage, like the girls come out and talk to you, they're like, thanks for encouraging us. It's like, look, the girls think that you're a fucking sap. Like their managers know that you're a fucking cow, you're a fucking whale they're draining revenue from. And how do you not realize you're being fucking played by this system? Every part of it is
they don't.
sickening.
It's because they are so okay. I do think this show does a pretty good job of actually showing what you get out of idol fandom. I
suppose so.
And it's if you think about it in comparison to other things, you might be surprised by the result. Because like let's think about anime fandom, right? Like you as an anime fan, the main way that an anime makes money, like let's say a best-selling show, right? Monogatari. They sell the Blu-rays. So you buy these extremely expensive pieces of plastic to show your support for this show so that you have access to watching this show again, you know, that you enjoy. You buy toys, you buy art books, you buy just all this stuff that's like cool permutations of these characters. But no matter how much you love this thing, it cannot specifically express love towards you in a personalized way. Like the creators could, you could even have like those, you know, there's anime where there's literally just a girl talking into the fucking camera at you, like, and telling you that she likes you. There's plenty of anime this that get made, but you will never have the feeling that it sincerely is speaking to you because you know it's a mass market product.
The keyword there is
And
sincerely. I would argue you can never get that by paying for it.
But
I know your point.
This is where anime and idol culture confuse together, you see. Because they can give you something like this show where the idol is in love with the stalker.
Oh, God.
So it is reciprocated love. That's the fantasy we're indulging for idol fans.
This is like dangerous. This is like a dangerous piece of media in my mind.
Problematic.
This is going to hurt people who buy into this shit even a little bit. People are going to make mistakes.
But you know, I mean, I'm
laughing
a
at
fan.
them. like we're laughing at these situations.
I don't want to laugh at them. I want them to have self-respect.
Nate,
That's what I
you
want.
make fun of these fat, sweaty men.
You two are dating. You and I both date fans of us. So
true, but I don't think it's to
possible.
be. It's not to be ignored. The process of like selection, because I mean, when I met my girlfriend, it's not like she was like the only girl I knew that like I just took whatever I can get and like I don't know, just had like no standards and like I don't know, like pay like a mail order bride I guess would be like the apt comparison maybe, but like no, I mean we talked for a while, got along. You know, got to know each other, met several times, and then established a relationship. I mean, that's so different.
And it wasn't like she was giving you her entire paycheck every week before you got together.
Okay, I would. I mean, you
like
can make
stripper.
cases that there are
It's like a
degrees,
relationship
but I
with a
think
stripper.
Let's
Yeah,
address
sure.
something here.
Okay.
Like, okay, so Mina is in love with the girl, and we don't know why yet. But
Eripio-san,
it kind of seems like Eripio is paying Mina's entire existence. Like she is her husband. Like
kinda
straight up. Like Mina doesn't have many fans.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
this girl, it's we don't know yet, and there's actually some surprisingly interesting like plot threads that are suggested by this show because it's a question in the air. Does Mina have no fans, and that's why she's buying so much of her shit? Or is the fact that she's buying all her shit the reason nobody else is investing in her because they can't compete.
Right.
And this question is raised by the show but not answered. So that's something I'm interested in. And like, but either way, she literally is the sole proprietor of minus fucking existence in this group. Like,
More or less.
She's
more or less.
So yeah, she basically is just providing for her. She basically is like she has made
Sugar
the
mama.
waifu into the wife in like a very bizarre way.
But oh my God.
Is that what's attractive? It's like, hey, you know what? This girl who is obsessed with me can hold a steady job, can pay for my whole existence. Like, what's not to love?
It's hard.
You know?
It's hard
And
to
she's
jump
hot.
in to discuss. I mean, and she is.
There you
it's
go.
hard.
Which helps.
It's hard to get into the show because, like, in order to get where we are in this situation, so many things had to go wrong in all these people's lives in order to. So, like, okay, pick your poison. Is it the fact that she has abandoned like hygiene and like looking nice as a human being? Okay, you can tackle it from that element. Should we tackle it from the like economic, financial angle about what a irresponsible, retarded way to live your life this is? We could do that. Should we talk about how she has like no other pursuits and her only friends are like other otakus with like probably less degeneracy in their lives, but still a good amount? Like
Nate.
there's
And
so
then
many
let's
ways.
talk about it from the idols angle, where
Yeah.
all of them are in this extremely insecure career. This girl is literally dependent on this woman for her entire livelihood. Like,
Something,
assumably,
more or
if
less.
she is unpopular, then if this girl wasn't paying for her, she would not be in this group anymore.
Well,
Like,
real quick, let's address like the existence of the other idols because we see them interact with fans and their interactions. Like mine is like the shy one, but the other ones are far more like when they go into work, the fans are on the stairs that like these girls have to go through. So like they're like real people out in real life they see regularly. Like it's so bizarre to me how like little barrier there is, and the other girls treat their fans.
Well,
they're like,
it's
"Oh, hey,
because-
great to see you again, bro!" Like Kuma-san or whatever.
This is,
You're my
well,
friend,
this is
right?
The fascinating thing about it is that idol culture is really interesting in that it's super niche, right?
Yeah.
Because it relies on cows. So. In this show, again, one girl can sponsor an idol's entire fucking existence. So all that idol really needs to do is be able to interact with that one fan who will do that. I mean, that's what a marriage is, essentially, is two people, like, becoming financially codependent and also dating, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so this show like is presenting that even the smallest time idols can still have a career as idols because these fans will show up to them even though they're not super famous. And like I don't think we really
She's
have
at the beginning of
a
her career for sure. There's lots more to grow if she succeeds. Yeah.
and like here in the West, I think we really conceive of like, you know, if you're not a superstar, people don't worship you. Like if you're a fan of a let's say an indie band from your hometown and like they're beloved enough in your hometown that the band is able to exist by playing shows, you know, regularly in this one space, and but like people might love them and might worship them, but they will always look at them as like, you know, they're an underdog band. They're not superstars. They're just precious to me personally, you know?
Yeah.
And like idols are this weird combination where it's that same kind of relationship except with this whole veneer of they're pretending to be like super idols, you know, like they have fake personalities, they have made up characters. Like this would there would never be like a darling indie band in America where everybody is completely fucking fake and, you know, fake to their fans, unless it was like some really geeky thing, you know. But that is what idols are. They're really geeky, in spite of the fact that, you know, if an idol group does get famous, then yeah, they will play the Budokan, you know, and they will be a mainstay of Japanese culture. But like, if we're talking about a small idol group, the people who care are these obsessive fucking weirdos, you know? And like, it is kind of like a sign of character. And I think this legit is a huge part of why otaku love the idol so much, because the otaku know that they are disgusting. And it's the fact that these women are basically like a hostess, acting as though they are, you know, acting as though they are friendly with these people and shaking hands with them and taking pictures and allowing them to get close. You know, it's worth the money to them, and like it's way more intimate than buying anime. You know, it's way more intimate. It's like you have an actual relationship with the thing you're paying
literally
for, you know?
is that whole scene where the one like fat friend of the girl, he's like isn't paying money to interact with your idols the best.
Yeah.
Like, it is the commodity of that interaction that is inherently appealing to them.
They're
That's
like
what he
inspiring
likes.
the new fans to be more dedicated, like the one fat guy. And it's
that line to me, I thought was meant to essentially imply that this was prostitution, because that's what people who like to solicit prostitutes like that they pay for sex. Like, they enjoy.
Yeah, they have
because
control.
They
it's a quantifiable thing. There's lots of appeal to that kind of very specific relationship. I'm sure people enjoy being part of.
I think with otaku, there's this sense of nobility that they feel about this stuff, where they feel like the queen has descended and deigned to speak to the pauper, and the pauper will be respectful and not do anything fucking retarded.
What I just don't understand is how every single one of these otakus in these audience doesn't spend every single fucking second of their life reflecting on how, wow, this is how I'm able to have women in my life. This is what I have to do to get a woman to shake my hand or speak to me. They don't think maybe I should work on some of these things.
Nate, you have to think about it this way. All right, so these guys, fat, ugly, weird, whatever.
Yeah.
They go through, let's say, starting in middle school, they start to become attracted to women, right?
Sure.
They start to face rejection. They start facing it all the way through high school. Maybe they're getting bullied. Maybe they just don't talk to anybody. They sit in their room. They spend time on forums, right? So they have no sense of community or confidence in their personal lives. So they get onto online communities, and that's where they meet other people who are weird in similar ways to them, who are interested in similar things. And then they develop a sense of community with those people, and it's like, okay, well, maybe none of us can get girlfriends, but we all hang out together and have fun and go to these events. I hang out with my friends all the time. Like, these same people go to every fucking show.
Right.
All these people know each other. They hang out. They know each other on forums. They go to the cafes. Like, they're not bored waiting in line every time. I mean, they are the one time when they have to wait for like 8 hours in the sun, and then the dresses aren't even good, which is fucking hilarious. But like, it's because it's not just merely something to cling to. It basically is a facsimile of what a functional life is. You have friends, you have social events, you have a girlfriend, essentially someone you pay to show you affection. It's like, if I can't get those things on my own, at least I can get this, and they're taking as much solace as they can in it. But like there's a very strict rule, and it's the exact same rule that we had in slavery. Keep it funny.
Yeah, you got to keep this funny. Any
this is
serious
fun.
examination of this will reveal the infinite myriad disorders in all these people's lives. And to gaze at that would be like gazing directly at the fucking sun and would blind you. So you're right. It's just that, like, I can't look at a show like this and not see how fucked up everything that's going on here is. I've actually never watched Perfect Blue. I gotta go watch it, man. I gotta see what the real shit is about.
It's a great fucking movie.
Oh, God.
And it's terrifying. I mean, it's basically beyond just being about idols. It's about just the way that, like, fame creates a different person out of us.
That's fair. And obviously I know that, like, bad things happen. That's, like, a worst-case scenario. I'm just saying, like, in little things like this, I'm seeing the stepping stones that are, like, creating problems in people's lives. Like, just for example, take this, go on a little journey with me into, let's say, like, 2 years pass in the world of this show, and Maya, whatever her name is, she's doing well in her career. Maybe other people have finally come around, and she moves on. She goes to a bigger city. She goes to a larger place. Oh, she doesn't come to the venue anymore. And now our main character, Epia, whatever the fuck, she's like, oh, where's Maya? I feel like this person I knew, I used to see her all the time here. She's abandoned me. I have nothing. I'm left with an empty life now. And I don't know, could that inspire maybe violence or at the very least like depression of some kind? Yes, absolutely. What she should be doing is like building meaningful structures in her life, not just throwing it away on this shit. And the fact that the show actively, this show is fucking serious about this shit. It's encouraging this lifestyle, and it is blowing my fucking mind that it's putting like a favorable impression. I thought this was like a critique, but it's not.
I thought they were laughing at it the whole time, and
they weren't. They were not.
It's dipping it fucking dipping its toes in both sides. It wants both. It wants to laugh at it, but also promote it so it can make money on the anime. It's
that's how all the otaku media is. Like, it's always because at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're trying to keep it funny. I mean, that's what the show is. This show
failed to keep it funny for me. This is too real. It made it too hey, maybe for other people it works. For me, this makes me want to kill myself.
We'll see how it
want
goes.
to
We'll
die.
see if she confesses her feelings or something, but...
Bro, it's the fact that the name of the show
You know,
is like,
I
I want to
think
see her
the
get to
only-
Budokan. You know this is going to be a show about how they never confess to each other, and it's going to be about her helping a career from behind the scenes to the big confession at like the end of the show, at which I pull the fucking trigger and blow my brain out of my fucking skull. That's going to be the real climax of this show. It's going to be incredible.
Your suicide, yeah.
To be honest, I went into the show expecting to not be into it. I mean, there was that. What was that show? The Dogakobo show. That was like really creepy.
There's a couple. Of them.
There's
I
a
know what you're
couple.
talking about.
Uzumade?
Uzumade, that's what it was. Uzumade.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Uzumade, and that's a whole sort of like obsessive stalker dynamic. In that case, I can see the appeal for some people because it pushes the envelope so far.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just uncomfortable, and I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, if they pushed
and
it
knowing-
farther and made it funny, that's fine. That's totally fine. But they didn't.
Well, for me, knowing what I know about idol culture, I was expecting it to be like really immediately just turned off by Budokan. But to be honest, I found it pretty entertaining. The production is strong, and the
You're right.
I like that it focuses not so much on the idols. It's just sort of the idol fans are where the focus lies, and a lot of it is them just sort of hanging out. I mean, obviously, there's the deeper, darker sides to the implications of the premise and the characters. But as a show, I found it entertaining and pretty funny.
Dude, all those things they're very much there. I totally agree with you on all that. It's just when I step back and think about it, it is concerning to me, some of the things I'm noticing. But yeah, production's good. The character designs, it's I don't, they're a little more realistic, I guess. But I liked them. They looked really good.
Reminded me of Shirobako, actually.
They didn't even use CG for the idol dancing scenes.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
That was awesome.
That was nice.
I was like, yes,
That's a
finally.
step above these other shows, and they're fucking, bullshit.
We'll get to those, yeah.
Mentioning Shirobako, like, that's what I really hope from this show is that, because the title is, if my favorite idol makes it to Budokan, I'll be able to die happy. So her goal is to help this group get big. And so maybe, like, with them developing a closer relationship and maybe her getting more involved in the group, like, maybe they actually will make something of themselves, all these people, like, maybe we're really going to see these guys go to Budokan, and, like, if that's the case, it's not going to be easy, like, these characters are going to really have to work for it, figure out some marketing tactics or something. I'm curious how serious this show is about, like, will this feel like a sports anime? Like, usually if we're going to Budokan, we got like a...
It's nationals, dude. Hell yeah.
Right. Exactly.
We shall see. We shall see.
Oh, for anybody who doesn't know, the Budokan is like the biggest concert venue in Tokyo, so...
Okay.
Right.
I figure
Right.
we should probably lay that down.
Anyway,
anybody have any more comments on that?
Recommended for existential terror.
Recommended.
No doubt. Hey guys, what's up? It's Bestie Boy from the future. Listen, after our conversation was concluded, me and the boys went quite in-depth on Oshiga Budokan, but there was one scene I intended to mention that I completely skipped over in the ensuing madness. And that was one scene maybe 2/3 into the episode. This is the scene where the fans are sitting on the stairs outside and they are waiting to get a photo op with the new outfits for the idols. Eripio, the main character girl, and Kumasa, who's the big fat guy who's kind of her rival OG fan. These two get to the studio at 6:30 a.m. before everybody else, but soon afterward, other fans start to show up to get in line as well. Over the ensuing 5 to 6 hours after this, it proceeds to be the hottest day of the year, and they're all suffering miserably under the heat. And in the agony of this experience, one of the fans in line stands up, says, "I can't take it anymore," and says the forbidden words. Because this photo op they're in line for is a picture with the girls in their new outfits that haven't been revealed yet. And he says, "Guys, why are we even waiting for this? Why don't we just wait for the show later today? We'll get to see the outfits there." And the reaction of the rest of the group is to say, "Oh no, we weren't supposed to say that true fact." He even looks guilty for pointing out this objectively true fact. And it's not like this guy is saying, oh, I don't actually like the group. He's just pointing out one piece as to why they're suffering right now may not be worth it. In response to this, Kumasa, the other big fan man, stands up and tells him that no, this is worth it to memorialize this moment that their favorite idols have set aside for them. And then unironically makes the sunk cost fallacy and says if this guy leaves, the time would have been wasted, so you better fucking stay in line, huh? He rationalizes this with like, oh, your feelings for her, I'm sure, are still the same no matter what. But everybody else is like in awe of Kumasa's point here. They're like, wow, that's what an OG fan is like, way better than us, huh? And Eripio, in her heat-addled days, is like, I can't tell what's going on right now, but I'm pretty sure Kumasa said something really cool. The point of this scene entirely being, all these people are being encouraged by each other to throw away reason and just act emotionally in the moment, even though they are suffering for it physically, economically, mentally, and long-term, emotionally as well, undoubtedly, when they realize the mistakes they're making here. In short, this is 100% pure cult behavior. I have nothing but pity for these poor people led astray and hope that they get their lives together. Yeah, I think I've seen enough of anime. Forever.